Hello, lovelies. I hope you're all doing well. Today, I want to have a little chat about a remix to my planner and journal system. I decided to abandon my Hobonichi. Even though this is a system that works so well for me, as you guys know, I adore the Hobonichi A5 layout, and I love how I set up my Hobonichi this year. To me, it looks happy, yet it's functional, and it was supposed to be my all-in-one, a life planner, a faith planner, and a personal journal. But halfway through February, I found myself really hating the paper and just not wanting to write in it. In January, I noticed my two smoothest pens feeling pretty rough to write with, and at first I thought it was maybe my nibs that needed to be tuned or something, but then I remembered that the Sanson paper has like a bit of a rougher texture compared to the old Tomoe River paper. So I checked my nibs out to make sure, and I even double checked with some old Tomoe River paper that I had lying around. And surely I was feeling the drag of the Sanson paper. And the best way I can describe it is it feels like writing in cement with a twig. And at first I decided to just ignore it since I spent so much money in this system, including the cover and the accessories. So I tried to compromise and started to use my Twisbees because of their broader nib and wet flow. It helped the writing feel a bit better. Nothing remarkable, but it did help a lot with the drag, and it helped my hand from getting too tired during longer writing sessions. But then I noticed some of my favorite inks were feathering and actually bleeding through the paper. And that's when I started to get really annoyed with this planner. I did find some inks in my collection that worked fine with the paper, but I was honestly unhappy having to just stick to a limited color palette and just a few pens. I have other pens that I really love and want to use, and I was just a little bummed out. It was kind of boring, to be honest. And I had so much regret for buying the Hobonichi this year, especially knowing that my favorite pens and inks were pretty much out of the question for the rest of the year. So I decided to scour through the Reddits because I wasn't sure if I just had a fluke of paper or if it was just me. But a lot of fountain pen people have had the same experience and noticed also that ink properties weren't showing up as nicely either. And in the comments, people just kept telling others that we need to adapt and get over it since old Tomoe River paper isn't coming back. And I don't know, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I feel like this notebook is pretty expensive at $65, and that doesn't include the cute covers and accessories. And I feel like, why should I have to settle for paper that just doesn't feel like it's worth the price? And why do I have to compromise so much with something that just doesn't bring me any joy? A huge part of my journaling, besides what I'm actually writing about, are the tools that I'm using. I love my fountain pens, and I love playing around with inks and changing up the colors, and I just couldn't see myself staying in here for another 6 months, let alone a year, when there are other systems that I love. And this is when I decided to just change everything. As I mentioned before, I don't want to compromise anymore. I don't want to settle or stay in something that just doesn't feel right. I want to enjoy my analog tools and just feel at home with my journaling system. And I used to feel that way in my old Hobonichi, and I no longer do. So I'm going to try to sort of replicate this Hobonichi system and setup that I have to fit into just one TN cover. And the one that I really want to use is this one. I kept staring at this specific cover on my desk, and I just kept feeling all the memories that I experienced in this TN. And I found myself wanting to go back into the TN system, going back to my roots, basically, which is why I have this little BK package here, which I'll unbox in a moment. But I want to formally introduce this little TN. I did a video on her, but it was a subtitle video and it didn't really do this traveler's notebook justice. So here is my beloved TN, and it is a perfect sunny day, so you can visually see how loved this TN is. It is soft, it's not fuzzy, but it's worn in, and this is actually my second traveler's notebook that I ever purchased, and it is the only traveler's notebook that I purchased in person. The rest of them were just bought online, and I feel like for that reason alone, I feel so attached to this TN. It's like my favorite child, but she is extra special because of the personalization. My first personalization was this little pearlescent stamping I did on the side just to make this little TN my own, and I thought the white would bring out more of that blue color. I feel like I was lucky because my blue TN isn't as navy or dark like others, and I wanted to bring that out even more with some white pearlescent stamping. For this TN's little 1-year anniversary, I decided to ship her off to the Truly Yours custom service by Baum-Kuchen, where I had the loveliest personalization experience. Now, this isn't my first Truly Yours customization. I did have one before with my camel one, but I did purchase that from Baum-Kuchen. So this was the first time I actually shipped off one of my own TNs that I already owned, and it was so nerve-wracking. But here is a little spread that I created in one of my blank notebooks of that experience, and it was just so special to me. I was so nervous for this customization, and Wakako was so sweet and amazing, and she even emailed me as soon as my TN was in her hands. And if I remember correctly, everything was done by both the owners, including Wakako wrapping my TN herself and leaving the cutest messages. I fangirled so hard when I received this package, and it was such a memorable experience. Whenever I look at this TN, I think of all the loving hands that really made this TN my own. So for the customizations I have on here, I have embossed as a sparrow in its wandering, and this is a play on Proverbs 26:2, and it's kind of personal, but it basically reminds me that God always has my back. And also for me, the sparrow is very symbolic to my faith journey for way too many reasons to count. As you know, I have a sparrow tattooed on my wrist, and I have them all over my surroundings. So you know that they mean a lot to me. I also have these little rivets on the side And in the back, I got the little wallet pockets in the brown color, and I really like how the brown and blue look together. As far as charms go, these are my absolute favorites. And the first charm I ever got was this little coffee bean. And I really like this sakura one because it reminds me of my birthday. At the end of March, the little cherry blossoms, buds start flowering and everything is pink and lovely. And I also like this little wabi-sabi charm, which I actually have embossed in my camel TN. As for the little charms in the bottom, I have this little coin charm from Baum-Kuchen, and I really love the meaning behind this one. And it also has some cherry blossoms in the back. This little mug, because I feel like it went with the coffee bean, and this little vintage looking key charm that a friend sent to me from one of her travels that has a permanent place on this TN. Okay, so for my change of plans, I wanted to go full circle, and I decided to order the inserts that I'll be using for the rest of the year from BK. And of course, they wrap everything so beautifully. I love their unique style and all the thought and care that goes into each package. They sent this very cute origami sticker sheet. Oh, I love that. Last time they sent their little present sticker sheet, and I still have it. I can't even bear to use that one. And also the other one that has the journey is the destination. I also have that one and have not been able to use it. I want to use them, but I feel like they need to be put in a place where I can save them forever. And here's a cute little note from Wakako. Oh, I love her. She's so cute. These little things just really make my day, and they just make me so excited. It makes me feel like I'm going in the right path. Of course, I'm going to save every single sticker and try to use them on the inserts that I'm going to be using for the rest of the year. I feel like that'll add a little special touch. And I'm going to switch this to an overhead shot to show you what I got. The first thing is this little washi tape. I've been wanting this washi tape for some time, but I haven't ordered from Baum-Kuchen recently, so I've been waiting to fill up a cart and add one of these to my purchases. I got this little superior labor, I'm not sure what it's called, little clip thing, clasp. It's like a permanent clasp to decorate your TN, and I want to put that on the elastic part because you can see that it's getting a little dented, and this leather is super floppy, and I don't know, I don't want it to get broken or anything like that. I want to preserve this TN and have it for as long as possible. And here are the two inserts that I'm going to be using for the rest of the year, and they are Baum-Kuchen's original GU monthly and weekly inserts. And I'm also going to be using the free diary daily inserts that hold 2 months. And I'll go into more detail on what I'm going to be using and how I'm going to be using everything in my next video. Thank you guys so much for listening to me rant about the Hobonichi system and planner regrets and decisions, and just ramble on about how much I love my TN. If you're interested in seeing more Traveler's Notebook related content, please consider subscribing down below and liking the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.